Hey everyone, Mango7Roll here. How we doing today? Welcome to another episode of Epic 7, number 2 for the patch day today. And somebody's here to see me, and that somebody is SC Doris. So we're going to take a look at her kit, theorize where she'll be used if she's good enough, what to give her for gear, and where I will personally be using her. I'll have a showcase up for her probably about 22 hours from now is my guess. I have her 6-star max and ready already. It depends on how hard it is to farm her specialty change, but I'd like to get it out for tomorrow's Guild War. So let's get into this here and watch the video. I won't... Hands up! Okay, so that's her skill 3. Honestly, one of my favorite skill 3s I've seen. I really enjoy that. I think it's just so precious and pure. I love it. Also, she broke her arm. Somebody take her to the doctors. So, yeah. Let's take a look at her stuff here. Let's take a look at her stuff. This isn't important. That smile is important, though. Don't get me wrong. That smile is super important. But we want to see the stats, right? We want to see... Are you really not going to show us the stats? Fine, we'll watch the skill 3 again. Her running is interesting. Love this part right here. Look at the tree, it's so nice. Raise Doris to level 50. Oh, I love that. That's one of my favorite. It really reminds me of Dien's. So, I guess we don't see her stats because we already know her stats. That's what I was looking for. So, Magical Scholar Doris Light Curtain with her skill 3, which before covers an ally's health, increases their CR by 50% with light magic. Amount recovered increases proportionate to the ally's max health. Now, it dispels a debuff as well, which solves one of her problems, not enough debuff removal. I felt like they had to go one of two ways with her. One is make her unique, which they didn't go for, or two, make her dispel, which she kind of needs. It's only one debuff from this, but we'll see a little bit more later that it's more than one. I forget what her burn is because her burn could make a big change here. Look at this. Look at that face. I love it. I love it so much. This is one of my favorites. I love this art. I love it so much. It's so cool. And the way she stands right there. Okay, so we've already seen this. Her runes are next, I believe. So first off, she's got the 5 speed, she's got 10% HP, 25% ER, all great things, all great things. 5 speed brings her up to 88 plus 5 is 93. She's still a snail, but I mean, it's better than nothing, I guess. The next set of runes here, God, I wish they had this in non-video form so we could see. We also have the ER of all allies by 5%. I mean, that's kind of a given. All the SCs kind of have that sort of thing now. We then have her Mana Bullet, which is her skill 1, 50% chance to decrease hit chance for 1 turn. Then Guard Rune adds up to 5% to 55. Yay! That doesn't really do anything. Maybe it would have been nice to allow her to protect herself a little better. Get that up to like 75% or something, because that's just a little too low, unless it's higher with Molagoras or skill ups as well. And then Sacrifice Rune adds a combat readiness by 5% after using Mana Bullet up to 100%. So I feel like if they added the hit chance to be a little higher, she might work well with the counter set, because let's be real here, you're not really going to want to use her on a speed set because she has 93 base speed, so you're getting very little out of that as opposed to somebody with like 105, 110. So something like a counter set isn't a complete waste of stats, and with her, you're very much going to be using her as a bait of sorts. So if you use her as a bait, she's getting hit a lot, she'll counter. As I say this and choke on myself, I do that at least once a video. As I say that, she's going to be baiting Rylet, and she's going to counter and then proc his Moonlight Dreamblade and then kill you. So maybe that's not a good idea thinking about it. This is why we talk things through and think about it at the same time. So 80% chance at maximum decrease hit chance. So they say it right here. That's really cool. That's a lot better than I expected. 100% would be nice. I don't know why they do stuff like 80%. You're already missing that 50% chance to resist. Why not just give her 100? So what is next? Oh, you're just gonna show this again? Really? Ah, there we go. Primal Light, skill 3, another rune for it, 100% chance to dispel an additional debuff, so every time you use this, you are going to dispel 2 debuffs from the target, and we kind of talked about this on the live stream. 2 debuffs is not really enough. I don't really think it's enough. Like, there's so many debuffs now that it's really tough, especially 2 debuffs from one person, right? It's something to consider. It's definitely going to help for Guild War specifically, I think. It's a really, really, really great thing for Guild War. Since often you're only going to be using it on yourself to keep yourself alive from baits and stuff like that. So that's something to consider. And why don't we just look at this face again? Okay, now that we've done that, let's go up to some more runes. We have an interesting one here. Recovers health of all allies by 2% after being attacked by a dark elemental enemy. Such a weird thing, but it does help her bait potential, but like it doesn't really. Like 2%? You couldn't have gone a little bit better on that? Like at least lined it up with Rowanna's? Kind of interesting. It's obviously not bad because you can see what they're trying to do with her. Just make her bait dark units, basically. And then this one is really cool. It has a 10% chance to increase defense for all allies for 1 turn after being attacked by a dark elemental enemy. I do really like this one. 10% is low, but it's high enough for it to happen every now and then, especially in longer battles, and it's high enough to maybe keep you alive if it comes to it. I do like this. That's kind of cool. I like that a lot, actually. And then the Harvest Rune here has a 100% chance to decrease the damage suffered from a critical hit by 30% when attacked by a dark elemental enemy. When more than 1 damage reduction, blah, 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 when the strongest effect is applied. So also really cool. You can obviously see what they're doing with her here. I think she was viable as a light unit to bait dark units before this, and I think she's definitely a lot better at it now. But the problem is, actually, we'll talk about that after, once we see everything here. Or is that everything? Yeah, that is everything. Okay, so the problem is her arm is broken. No, the problem is there's so many good light baits already. You have General Purgus, one of the best units in the game, I think, for Guild War. Maybe it's just me, but I honestly think General Purgus is just such a ridiculously good unit right now. Not only for Guild War, but also for PvE. Just absolutely insane unit. I believe he has higher defensive base stats than Doris as well. And then you also have Fighter Maya, who works the same way. And then you also have Maid Chloe. There's just so many people that already do exactly what she does. But at the same time, there's so many dark units that you need to bait. So it kind of makes sense. And it gives you kind of the elasticity to use who you want. Like if you want to use a dark bait team that focuses on kind of getting a bit of damage in, maybe you want to use your General Purgus, and that way you're boosting up your DPS and getting kills in quick. If you want to use your super long-term battle bruiser style, maybe you use Maya. And if you want to use a really safe team, maybe you use a light bait Doris with a another bait like a Rowanna or a Crow or something like that for somebody else in their team and just never die, right? There's tons of ways you can do this. So let me load up the game here and take a look at her stats, and we'll get an idea of how I want to build her. Okay, so let's take a look at Doris here. Mine is 6-star, fully awakened right now. I'm only A rank imprint, so I will be imprint concentration in her. I might as well just do that. I shouldn't do that because it's only 450 HP, but I want to give her all the stats she can get. She will have full skill ups as well when we do this. And yeah, so her base stats, 86 speed. Wow, I thought it was 88. Is it really 86? So that puts her at 91 speed with her +5. 705 defense is pretty great. And 5200 base HP plus the 450 is also pretty decent. So let's take a look at how I would build her. So first off, number one thing I would do is speed boots. I don't think I would get by using Doris without speed boots. So that would be the first thing. I also would not use a speed set. The sets I would want to use on her are resist, potentially counter, but maybe that's memeing. And these here, and maybe speed set, maybe, just maybe, but I feel like that's just not worth it. I feel like it's just not worth it at all, but if you really want to get her speed up there, maybe you have to do that. Also to note is ER is interesting with her because I plan to use her as a light bait. I feel like you don't really need ER too much because she's going to be attacked by stuff like Arbiter Vildred, like ML Ken, like Rylot, and the debuffs they land don't matter to her. Congrats on your Dark Corvus. But maybe she'll be hit by like an accidental defense down somewhere and that'll kill her. So I'm unsure of whether or not to boost up her ER as a focus on her stats. I think I'd rather just make her more of a wall, you know? I'd rather have more defense and health. So that's something I'm first thinking of when I go into this. So I don't know if I want a resist set. So I do want immunity. That's something I definitely want. So let's just start off with immunity boots here. And as for the ring, she's got pretty good base HP, pretty good base defense. So we're either going to want one of three stats. One is health, one is defense percent, or one is possibly ER. I wouldn't fault people for maxing her ER, but I don't think it's something I'm going to do. So I would probably go with a defense percent piece, but it's not looking like I have any. So what about health with defense subs and perhaps speed subs as well? And something like this is pretty perfect. It has all the stats we need. There's also a juicy counter set. Do we meme with the counter set? Nah, we won't meme with the counter set yet. But if we don't go counter set, honestly, we might just go speed, which just feels not the greatest. So that's going to be enough to get our HP up there. So at this point, we really want a defense percent if possible. So I'm going to throw this one on here. I'm not going to take it off of that's immunity. I can't do that. So we'll do health and try for a defense substat. Yeah, these are all pretty decent, to be honest. Health is pretty 14 speed, so that's kind of the stuff we're looking at. We need high base speed. So I'm going to take out the counter set. We'll try another counter set in a second here, but we're just going to go from here. So now we are looking for a health set as one if possible. So let's just get that out of the way first and see if we can make it happen. We're looking for a speed sub and either HP or defense. So none of these are really great. I could get my ER up there, but I'm not too interested in. 12 speed. Okay, this is pretty good. I know my chests aren't very good, so something like that I might use, although it's pretty low base defense. And I don't think any of these are really exceptional. That's kind of a waste of the effectiveness, but maybe not. Let's just throw this on there just to get a set on, just to see what she looks like with these stats. So with the stats, immunity and health, she's at 1374 defense, 20k HP, and 187 speed. 187 speed on her is actually pretty fantastic. I'm not a fan of this defense. If I was to fine tune this, I would definitely bring her up to like 1800 defense. I think defense when you're a bait like this is more important than your HP. So that would be one set that would definitely work, but I'm not sure how well. I'm not going to do speed because it would just be gear that nobody else, or that I wouldn't take away from other units. So I feel like it would be unfair to put her on that. So I'm going to try to meme a little bit with a counter set and see where we can take it. Because that does boost a little bit here. So I remember there being a juicy one. I wouldn't take this from Araminta, but let's give her that one here. And as for the neck, it's not looking like we have anything. This is just max ER. We also have some pretty great stats here. We'll put that one on. Health attack, not so good, not so good. Not so good either. None of these are so great, so we'd have to do a counter set weapon. Do we have one we could use? Yeah, we do. That's a lot of HP. Throw that one on there, and now we need a counter set helm, neck, or boots. God, I have so many to upgrade, but I just don't have the gold or materials. Honestly, this one's pretty decent. These are pretty decent. Something like this I might use, so I would add 5 base speed onto here just to get an idea. And then for the other two, probably would want immunity. Wouldn't need it, but would probably want it. But it's not looking like it's something we can do. So instead, we'll see what we're at. We're at 13,000 defense or HP. So I really want to get defense up there. So I really just want to. I mean, we have to kind of do that. So we'll do that, and then we'll throw in an immunity set. None of these are good. None of these at all are useful. I mean, there's some stuff on that one. Okay, so this would be approximately the counter unity set or immunity set, and I do like this one, but I don't know how useful it would be. So yeah, that's what I would do. I honestly think she's going to be decent. I don't think she's absolutely great. Like, I think she's useful. I think she's going to be pretty good for Guild War shenanigans. I think I'm going to be using her, but not as much as General Purgus, and I don't think she's going to be as safe as General Purgus, but I guess we'll have to see how she ends up. So yeah, let me know if you're building her, how you plan to build her, how you think I should build her, and who you want me to pair her with in the Guild War tomorrow. So thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe as always, and I'll talk to you later. Bye, everybody.